All right, folks, welcome back. I'm Jake Ellenbogen, and this is JE Live. And look, I wanted to do a longer episode. I wanted to do a more planned episode, all of that good stuff. Unfortunately, I had mic issues, and I have a show I'm going on at 8, so this will be a shorter episode. But, you know, I do believe the 49ers are going to win this game. But part of me wants to pick the Rams, and it's not because of a bias. It's not because of homerism or whatever, that goes. I think there's a real thing here that we need to discuss, okay? Because right now, what people are not aware of, and this is what it comes down to, this is really my rationale behind my kind of, I guess, back and forth thinking. Well, you can see, right now, when it comes to this has me intrigued. And if it doesn't have you intrigued, all right, fine. But I'm just saying. So you're telling me Debo's going to be out, D. Winters and Hufanga will be back, and that's great for them. But George Kittle and Charvarius Ward did not practice on Thursday? Now we're getting closer to game time. And now this rib injury comes up for Nick Bosa? What do we make of that? And look, injuries are injuries. I'm not saying I want anybody to get hurt, so please do not assume the worst there. But it is intriguing. For sure. It's absolutely intriguing nonetheless. The 49ers are banged up. They don't have Dre Greenlaw. They don't have Christian McCaffrey and all that. I find this even more intriguing when you look at the fact that I understand it's 2 weeks, but the 49ers have given up 227.5 passing yards per game. The Rams have given up 229. The 49ers have given up 107 yards per game on the ground. And I start to think, the Rams have Matthew Stafford, right? That's good. They have Matthew Stafford. The Rams have weapons. Now, they don't have Puka Nacua or Cooper Kupp, but you can't sit here and talk about how good Jordan Whittington is, how good Tutu Atwell is, how good, Demarcus Robinson and Tyler Johnson, and how excited you are for Colby Parkinson, and how good Kyron Williams and Blake Corum are if you don't believe in them. You can't sit there and tell me how good these guys are and think this team is going to get boat raced. Now, I have a video coming out. It was supposed to come out earlier today, but technical difficulties will be the death of me, folks. Anyway, I have a video coming out kind of trying to get people off the ledge, thinking that, yeah, the season's over and just go home. Nothing to see here. 15 of the 17 games are left, but yep, it's over. Trade away Stafford. The whole thing is doom and gloom. Well, let's be honest here. You don't come on this channel thinking that I'm going to be anything less than, I guess, straight to the point. I'm definitely optimistic. But I'm also a realist at the same time. And on the off chance I ever call the Rams out, I always get flack for it. So I don't love picking the 49ers over the Rams. I also don't think it's a guarantee that the 49ers win. Like, I don't think it's a guarantee at all. I think the 49ers are really going to show us. Right now, the Rams, they have to win this game for a lot of people in their minds. I don't necessarily agree they have to win. I don't necessarily agree with that. I am calling on you Rams fans out there because I cannot make it because I'm in upstate New York. Calling on you Rams fans out there. Go to the Rams game. Support the Rams. Don't go to Dodgers and Rockies. The Rockies have been out of the playoffs since, May? Go to the Rams and 49er game. I don't care who's hurt. I don't care. This game became interesting. 49er fans would agree, it absolutely became interesting. I'm not saying the Rams definitely win, but do not count the Rams out. And that's not something I'm doing. That's not something I'm doing at all. I think the 49ers win, but I think this is going to be a close game. I see a pathway for the Rams to win this game. I do. By the way, folks, today's sponsor of the live stream is Prize Picks. And I'll be honest, there's a lot of good value on Prize Picks. If you haven't signed up already, using my code JKBogan, you can get $50 when you play at least a $5 lineup, regardless if you win or lose. You get the $50 added to your account. So let's go over this real quick. We got Colby Parkins at 30.5. Currently, he's on my blacklist after last week. I had a lot riding on Colby Parkinson, having more than that, and he did not come down with that. And while he absolutely could, he could go over 30.5 receiving yards. I don't love that. Byron Young going up against Colton McKivitz, 0.25 sacks. That's intriguing. Okay. Demarcus Robinson, I think this is a trap. I'm going to explain. This right here. Jordan Whittington, right? Jordan Whittington. This is the guy that I believe this is the one to look at. So the first off, Jordan Whittington, right? Kobe Turner, intriguing. Jake Brendel is not a good center. I'm not touching the fantasy score of Kyron Williams. I think Jordan Whittington, this could be the Jordan Whittington game, folks. If you were looking to get in on that, this is the time to do it. Use my promo code JKBogan and start playing Prize Picks today. Now, in addition to that, Matthew Stafford at 214.5 passing yards. Come on, guys. They need to throw the ball in order to win this game. Matthew Stafford has to be a part of that. So he's going to have a hell of a whole lot of yards and a lot more than 214.5 to win this game. So you have that. I don't know if I'm trusting Kyron Williams this week against the run defense is not the best on film on paper. I mean, 107, but a game, but it's hard to know now that Corum's in the mix. Could go more, could go less. I'm going to go more. I'm going to go less on this probably, but not touch it. And then I'm going to probably put more for Kyron Williams to have more than 21.5 receiving yards. Then down here, no Tutu Atwell. Monitor this because Tutu Atwell will come up and it'll be around 22.5. Would be all over Tutu Atwell going to have more than what his 22.5 will probably end up being. Tyler Johnson, not touching this. So I think, guys, right now, I feel really good about these guys, these three. And for a limited time now, this month, you get it a little bit longer. Caleb Williams, 0.5 passing yard, gimme. And now you're looking at a nice little chunk of change if this goes the way we want it to go. So be sure to sign up using the code JKBogan, just like all my handles and everything. And get in on the fun, get in on the action today with Prize Picks. Run your game. All right. So now that I mentioned Jay Witt, why do I think Jordan Whittington is going to have a game? Well, I'll tell you right now. The first thing, when he was on Rams Revealed, I was like, oh, okay. They know something. They know something about Jordan Whittington. Let me tell you right now, folks. They know. I mean, come on now. They're going to have him interviewed by JB Long. Oh, they know what they're doing. They absolutely know. But the thing about Whittington is that he can win after the catch. He can block. He can stay on the field, which is important here. I think Whittington is going to be one of the guys. We saw the snap count go up last week, right? And I understand the game was kind of out of reach early on. Like, let's not get it twisted. But the snap count went up for Jordan Whittington. It did. And so when we look at last game, and we look at last game against the Cardinals, and again, I understand it was awful. But last game against the Cardinals, Jordan Whittington played how many snaps? Let's find out. So in passing plays, Whittington played 14 snaps last week. Atwell played 10. Parkinson played 30. Kyron played 29. Demarcus Robinson played 28. Tyler Johnson played 25. The week before, Jordan Whittington played how many snaps? I think maybe 1. Atwell, maybe 1. Tyler Johnson played 38. Demarcus Robinson played 49. Cooper Kupp played 53. Hell, even Puka Nacua had 15 in week 1. So you see a significant raise in snap count for Whittington at 14 this week. And I think it goes up. And I think another guy to look out for, if it's not the Jordan Whittington game, or regardless if it is or it isn't, Tutu Atwell. Okay? Tutu Atwell. Tutu Atwell had over 70 yards receiving the last time he went up against the 49ers. It was week 2 last year, in case you forgot. So I am looking at Tutu Atwell to do something this week. Atwell's been used kind of sparingly, right? He's been used more as like a gadget guy, a situational guy. They don't have the opportunity to do it that way. Atwell he had 9 targets last year against the 49ers. 7 he came down with for 77 yards. This is back when they let Tutu Atwell cook. In the first game, Atwell, 6 of 8 targets, 119 yards. Game 3, Atwell, 4 of 9 for 50, a touchdown, and they took away his rushing touchdown. So what am I getting at here? Well, they abandoned Tutu Atwell when Cooper Kupp came back last year. Make no mistake about it. I pointed that out, was very honest about that. Tutu Atwell has a chance to have a great game. And if they get a big shot down the field against the 49ers, that opens up the rest of the game. That opens up the underneath stuff. That opens up everything. That makes it a little bit easier to run against this defense. So I think it really comes down to Tutu Atwell. It comes down to Jordan Whittington's ability after the catch. It comes down to their ability to block. Are they going to see more 12, 11 personnel, what have you? But I think the Rams do have a shot. I'm still picking the Niners. I would love to be wrong. But I think the Rams have a shot. This will be a fun game. This is going to be a fun game. For those of you who like seeing guys make a difference that just you normally don't see on the field, this will be a fun game. I think you're going to see some new stuff as well. But there is this misconception that Atwell won't see the field because he can't block. That's not at all true. Not even remotely true. Tutu Atwell was a top 15 run blocker of all receivers last year. So Tutu Atwell can block. Tutu Atwell's just one of those guys that, let's be honest here, there's probably one on every single roster in the league that you can think of that is just, for whatever reason, underutilized. Forgotten about even. That's Tutu Atwell. Mind you, they didn't let this guy play in the preseason. That's how much they cared about him this year. That's Tutu Atwell. So I think Atwell is going to be a big part of this. I think Whittington. Can they run the ball with Kyron and Corum? That's another thing. That's what needs to be kind of figured out. The best matchup of the entire game, though, without a doubt, is Trent Williams taking on Jared Verse. If Jared Verse somehow wins that offensive line is not that good. It's Trent Williams, who's the best left tackle in football. Dominic Pooney, who's turning himself into a really good right guard in his going into his 3rd game in the NFL. And then a bunch of kind of meh or bad in Brendell's case. So I guess my point here is that if Verse stalemates Williams, they still have a shot. If Verse wins the way he won against Decker, I think the Rams win the game. There's no way the Rams don't win this game if Jared Verse is putting blindside pressure on Brock Purdy all game. There's no way. There is zero chance. 0. But looking at this from a standpoint maybe of years past, 2022, you want to see young guys get an opportunity. You know, you want to see young guys get an opportunity. But you also want to win the game. But you're also well aware of maybe winning the game isn't the most realistic scenario. Well, in that case, this is definitely the game for you. You're going to see guys get their opportunity. We're going to find out how good Whittington is right now. We're going to find out how good Tutu Atwell is, if he's going to get traded. Depending on his usage this week, it is everything for Tutu Atwell's future with the Rams. We're going to find out how good Verse is. Verse is going up against the number 1 left tackle in the game, okay? So let me make that very clear. If Verse gets dogged, it's okay. It's absolutely okay. You're not going to see a better matchup all year. But if Verse brings it and is able to beat, you know, Trent Williams multiple times, that's not just helping you in this game. That's telling you, oh, okay, so Jared Verse is that level of player. They drafted that type of guy at 19. Okay, that's really good. So they're going to learn a lot about their young roster. We still have no idea. Akello Witherspoon, where is he at? We don't know if he's going to play or not. I do think, I have kind of a gut feeling that he's going to end up being, you know, activated for that, because I just don't think they have a choice. I think in a perfect world, they'd love to be playing right now. They'd love to be playing the Raiders or somebody like that. The Browns, not playing the 49ers in their 3rd game of the year, not playing the 2 NFC title teams in the first 3 games. But this isn't a perfect world now, is it? They are. So they can't have one of those. Well, we'd like to give Akello a week. You're not going to be able to. The Rams injury report just came out. Bobby Brown was added with an ankle. He's limited. Kevin Dotson, full participant after being limited on Wednesday. Kobe Durant is now limited with a toe injury following his did not participate designation on Wednesday. Cooper Kupp did not practice. Josh Carty did not practice. Sean McVay said he's going to be ready to go. They're just going to be cautious with him because he's a kicker. And Davis Allen, with his back injury, did not practice. So it's something to consider, because I'll tell you right now, when you look, you know, when Akello Witherspoon, that decision comes to the forefront. Kobe Durant was limited today. Is that enough to get him ready for Sunday? That's going to be a deciding factor there. I still think this will be a fun game tonight, on Sunday. I saw the Rod's comment, who you got tonight, Jake. I don't even know. I think the Patriots cover, but as far as, man, I don't really know. I mean, I think I'll take the Jets to win a close one. I wouldn't be surprised if the Patriots won this game, though. They should have won last week. They were the better team. They blew it, but it should be interesting. Sunday, though, I think this is going to be a better game than people give it credit for. I understand it was scary at first. The Rams had a lot of injuries, and the 49ers looked somewhat healthy. Now the 49ers are pretty banged up as well. Not at all saying they're more banged up than the Rams, but it makes it more of a game. The most important thing, if you believe in Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay in tandem, okay, how do you think they can't win? How do you think that? How do you think for a second? I picked the Niners, but I am also willing to admit I think the Rams have a shot. There are people that are acting like this game is over, hasn't even been played yet. There are people acting like 0-3, Rams are done, trade Stafford. Come on, guys. It's not over. They have a legitimate shot, and it's a divisional game, right? Divisional matchups are always kind of weird. So do not count out the Rams. Yes, they have a chance. Are they going to win Sunday? We're going to find out on Sunday. If they do, I'll tell you right now, the Rams are in better shape than they were a week ago, without a doubt. But the most important thing that does is it shows they can bounce back, shows last week was just the perfect storm when it comes to the Cardinals. They had 13 of their last 15 hanging over their head. They had, hey, we haven't beaten this team at our house since 2014 hanging over their head, and they took it all out on the Rams. and that game didn't mean as much to the Rams. So I'm just saying right now, if the Rams go out and they beat the 49ers, who gives a rip about week 2? You got Caleb Williams on the road for sure, but Caleb Williams, the way he's playing, you have him in week 4, and you'll be healthier because you'll have somebody back by that point. And then week 5, you'll be healthier. You'll have somebody back by that point against the Packers, who only have had Jordan Love for not even a full game, almost a full game. So we'll see. And by the way, the Packers can't stop the run. Love the matchup there. I think Kyron can eat against them. But the point I'm making here is even if they lose this game, to the 49ers, season's not over. I don't want to get too much into it because I made a video on this, but the season's not over. I don't want to hear it. I'm not going to entertain it anymore. It's done. I'm not going to entertain it anymore. The Rams season is not over. They have 2 games that they've played. They're 0-2. One of those games came down to the wire against a team that was one of the NFC finalists on the road in a place that's wicked hard to win, and they lost in primetime. Another game, they got blown out by a team that has held a grudge for years. So we're going to find out what this team really is come this Sunday against the 49ers that are banged up. They don't have Christian McCaffrey. They might not have George Kittle. We know they won't have Debo. We know they won't have Dre Greenlaw. They might not have Ward. Well, a banged up secondary going up against Matthew Stafford, which, by the way, people keep acting like this offensive line is going to be awful and Stafford's going to be running for his life, and he might be running for his life. That's certainly possible. But let's also forget, if you're going to be without anybody on the offensive line, you'd want it to be in the interior, not center, but the interior, not the tackle spots. The Rams, for the first time all year, obviously in week 3, the Rams, for the first time all year, will have both tackles that they intended on starting. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see where Alec Jackson's at. I'm excited to see, of course, where Havenstein's at. I was encouraged with the way Havenstein played. I go back a few years ago, Havenstein's worst year of his career. I think he had 8 sacks given up in a season. That was the year he was playing with an ankle the whole year. So that's the hope, is that that doesn't bother him. It doesn't linger, and he continues. Because I thought he played pretty well against the Cardinals. I'm not going to lie. The issue was on the left side. And as much as I love Warren McLendon Jr. as a prospect, and I'm rooting for him, I hope he does well, I'm also a realist here. Warren McLendon Jr. was horrible last week. You could argue he was worse than A.J. Arcuri. And if he played any decent, they might have had a chance to maybe flip the script. They definitely, I'll say this, with the pass rush, that was encouraging. Now, finish those. Don't let Kyler run all over the place and throw all over the yard. But if you finish those and you actually sacked Kyler Murray on those multiple times you pressured him, well, this is a different ball game, my friends. So Brock Purdy, very similar in that vein to a Kyler Murray that can move around and make plays with his legs and, improvise. He's not Kyler Murray. He is not at all Kyler Murray because he has similar aspects, but Kyler Murray is a much more talented quarterback. Kyler Murray is the most talented quarterback in the NFC in the NFC West based on his athleticism. People don't realize that. Kyler's incredibly gifted. Stuff that Stafford couldn't have if he wanted it. So I guess really my point here is that when you look at the Rams last week against the Cardinals and you saw them getting pressure, and they were getting pressure on Jared Goff, besides the fact that it was the number 1 offense in the league. That's what they told you. Number 1 offense, number 1 offensive line. They're going to get pressure on Brock Purdy. They have to make it count. If there's a lot of missed sacks and missed tackles and what have you, you're going to have that. But I'll tell you, the missed tackles, to me, that was a snowball effect against Arizona. I know they lead the league in missed tackles now, but if you go back to the Lions game before overtime, how many missed tackles did they have? Not many. We kept talking about it. Wow, this team is really doing a nice job of stopping the run, of limiting the yards after the catch ability of an Amon-Ra St. Brown. And that is what kept them in the game. That's how they were able to come back from 17-3. So I'm excited. I'm really excited for this game. I didn't think I would be. I kind of chalked it up as a loss early on. And then all of a sudden I started thinking about it. I'm like, wait a minute. We're getting to watch some fun football this week. And Matthew Stafford is still at the helm, guys. He's still the quarterback. They didn't lose Stafford. They did not lose Stafford. They still have Kyron. They still have most of their defense, potentially a Kello Witherspoon's 2024 debut. That gets me excited. So we'll see. We'll see Atwell. We'll see Whittington. This is going to come down to the wire, I think. Because, I mean, my initial prediction was 23-13. I'd still take the Niners, but I'd probably go 20-17 now. I think it would be that type of game now. I mean, I think the gap is still there. The 49ers are not as banged up as the Rams. The 49ers have more talent currently. But 20-17, I think, is definitely, it's a showing that, hey, the Rams have a shot. They can win this game. And again, I want to just make this clear. This isn't a must-win game either. This is a game, I would look at them winning this game as they can get ahead. They can get ahead of the schedule if they win this game. If they win this game, they can build off this and help. But they got Chicago next week and the Packers after that. I think those are winnable games. I think coming off the bye, you're going to be much healthier. Winnable game against the Raiders. Winnable games all over the board. And again, we're not talking about the so-sar Rams. We're not talking about a team that was starting Josh Gordy at cornerback off his couch. We're not talking about a team that has a quarterback dealing with a high ankle sprain and Sam Bradford in 2011, where it was like, oh my God, he absolutely regressed. He fell off a cliff. We've seen great quarterback play already in week one from Matthew Stafford with his back against the wall. At no point this year was Matthew Stafford playing with a fully healthy offense. And now it goes to show you, if they can steal some of these games, if they can win this game against the 49ers, beat the Bears, beat the Packers, well, guess what, my friends? If they win the next 3 games and the Cardinal game was truly a wake-up call, guess what that means? They'd be 3-2, yes. They'd be going in the bye, yes. But also, more importantly, going into week 7, they would have as many wins as the team last year had going into week 11. That is what people are not talking about here. That is not, like, people do not bring that up. And again, in my video, I'll go more into detail. But, guys, I mean, they went 3-0 in 2019 and missed the playoffs. They went 3-0. They were 2-1 in 2022. Think about that. They were in 2022 when it looked bleak as hell. They were 2-1 to start it off. 2-1. That team ended up winning 5 games total, 3 more games the rest of the year after starting 2-1. They were 4-1 in 2020. They only won 6 more games the rest of the year. So no, I'm not panicking. I haven't given up on this team. I do think there's a chance this Sunday. I think this team is way more talented than given credit for. And for the people that act like they don't have any depth, well, guys, 53 players have had at least 1 snap in an NFL game this year for the LA Rams. The record is 86. They've already had 53 guys have snaps in an NFL game. That will probably go up to closer to 60 at the end of the week or next week. I mean, the Rams, they got a lot of talent, but when you're pushing depth, well, anyone can have bad depth when you're down to your 3rd string. It'll always look that bad. But I've been impressed. I really have. I've been impressed with what I've seen from the Rams. And for the people over on Kick, I appreciate you guys. I see you guys there as well. We have 10 people over there. Be sure to follow the Kick channel. We normally go live doing all 22 every week. We're not going to do it this week because I'm just not even... I watched it. I don't feel like we need to do a 2-hour live stream on watching a 41-10 beatdown. But I'll tell you what, I think this game is going to be exciting. I think the Rams can win. Will they win? I don't think they do. but I'm totally fine being wrong, especially in this case. And we'll see what ends up happening. But guys, that's going to do it for me. Quicker stream. I would have loved to go live a little bit longer, but I have plans already to go on another show. I'm going on Rob Guerrera's show. So obviously love Rob. This is my predicament. I love Rob. I love Jesse, Crystal. I mean, the 49er creators, I'm going to say this right now. This might be controversial because I have a lot of Rams creators I like too. Rams House TV, Payo Time, so, I mean, there are other people out there as well. Blaine Grisack, one of my guys, of course, there are guys out there. But I got to tell you, regardless of what you think about 49ers fans, they have the best creators, truthfully. Like, I love 49ers creators. Absolutely love them. You guys saw Jesse. Jesse is the best. Rob is the best. I'm doing a show with a big 49er creator tomorrow. I believe it's going to be 1 p.m. Eastern time. We're still ironing everything out, but Grant Cohn and I are going to be doing a collab. So looking forward to that. But Niners creators, man, I'm telling you, these guys, these people are just awesome people. And I mean, there are people that I didn't mention that are awesome. So I'm a big fan of a lot of them. I just had to give them love. And it's tough, man, because, with the Cardinals, I don't know too many Cardinals creators. I also work with Mike, AZ Sports Fan. So I was like, this is a no-brainer. I want to bring him on. Lion Syndicate. I would have brought on Dose of Dion, but I've been friends with Lion Syndicate for a while, so I brought him on. So, I mean, I'll take recommendations if you guys have them, but I definitely, it gets tough because it's like if I can only have one person on for my preview video, I mean, how do you choose between 5 of your friends, So that's that. I just want to give them all a shout out. They do great work. And then next week against the Bears, I have plenty of Bears creators that I can collab with. So, yeah, we'll see what ends up happening this weekend. Looking forward to it. As always, be sure to stay tuned on this channel. Grant Cohn collab tomorrow. Video, the Don't Give Up on This Team video. That's what I'm calling it for now. I don't know what the title will be. Do Not Give Up on This Team video will come out later tonight. And then the Grant Cohn live stream that we're doing, co-live stream, we're doing tomorrow. And then, we'll have some other stuff, miscellaneous content. But Sunday, the drill. Bleacher Report first after the game. And then, of course, YouTube after Bleacher Report, doing the post game. Want to do a pregame show? If I can do it, that'd be great. If not, like last week, then we just do the post game. But that is the plan. And so appreciate everyone who supports this channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment if you would. Check out today's sponsor of the live stream, Prize Picks. The link is in the description below, but pretty much it's promo code JKBogan. Will get you $50 with your first $5 lineup with Prize Picks. So amazing deal. You get a gimme with Caleb Williams. You got gimmies that I mentioned with the Rams. Stafford's throwing over 214.5 yards. Jordan Whittington is going to go over, or he's going to have more than, his fantasy points. So you're definitely going to want to check that out. But that is going to do it. So I'll see you guys soon. I'm going on Rob's show. I know I'm missing something, but that's going to do it. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys soon. Be sure to like and subscribe, and also check out, if you want to become a member on the channel, definitely check that out. Link is in the description below. If you want to listen to this on all audio formats, it's on all audio formats. Jake Ellenbogen Live. The last thing I'll say, God, I try to remember everything. It kind of comes sporadically. Last thing I'll say, Kick. If you guys want to check out all 22, I'm going to be doing that every week unless they get blown to smithereens like the Cardinals game. On kick.com right now, kick.com/JKBogan. We have 928 followers. I'll be doing a giveaway, 1,000 followers. Every single week we're doing all 22 watch parties, so be sure to check that out. But that's going to do it. Appreciate you guys. And I'll see you guys soon. Later, folks.